Well, you know what I really find quite surprising? That if someone was accused of something, and obviously I'm talking now about the Welsh Wonder, the soon-to-be ex-newscaster, presenter, but why wouldn't you try and clear your name, try to exonerate yourself? You would do everything you possibly could, wouldn't you, if you was falsely accused of something? You would you would have made the first contact at the earliest possible time, and that's not happened. I know that's what I'd do, and I think that's what a lot of quite honourable and upright people would do if they hadn't done the things that they've been accused of. And so when a person doesn't step forward to try and clear his name, you can only be left with one conclusion, and that is that they are guilty, banged to rights, and that they're just looking for someone to rescue the situation. Now, does the BBC know where he is at the moment? Has the BBC even put him into hiding so that he can't be spoken to? These are questions that no one's asked, but it looks as if they are protecting him. I mean, they must know that on his phone, he would have had all the telephone numbers that could make all this and tie it up into a nice little bow. And yet they don't approach him and ask him for the telephone numbers for all those that he'd made contact with over the last 3 years. It is a strange one, people. But this isn't going to go away. And so your YouTubers and your truth seekers, like Sean Atwood and Andrew Gold and all the rest, they're going to keep chomping away at this. Of course, we love it. We love to be part of the chat team. I mean, you have to have an opinion about this, don't you? Unless, of course, you're Hugo Talks, and then your opinion needs to be taken seriously, because if Hugo's right, then there's an agenda to this. Maybe this is leading to the part where having involvement with social media platforms will come under very strict constraints. Who knows? Hugo's a bright boy, so when he does a video, I always like to have a look at it. I see that Face Replace is still doing his videos. Well, I don't blame him. You know, there's so much to chomp at the moment, isn't there? So I suppose my real question now is, how much longer? I actually thought it would only take 3 days from the weekend before somebody in Parliament would say, sod this for a game of soldiers, I'm going to name the Welsh Wonder. And that's not happened yet. Can the BBC survive after this? It's a great question. It depends on how many people stop paying their TV license. And as you know, I'm still paying mine. I wanted to stop. But there are times when I do watch the iPlayer, and I think under those circumstances, and if I'm going to be an honest person and not a deviant, I would have to say I have to pay, because sometimes I like to watch that iPlayer, but not all the time, but just sometimes. This obviously this is not a gift. I mean, this is an industry in which needs to pay for itself. And that's not likely to happen, is it, if people keep dropping off in the droves who were once propping it up financially? And that seems to be getting less and less people. And you're getting some very, very well-known and outspoken people who are clamouring for the BBC to be defunded. We'll wait and see whether that happens or not. It may. But they're going to be fighting tooth and nail because they have a lot of people on their payroll. So, well, obviously they want to keep their own positions rolling on, don't they? They don't want to be having to look for another job if they're in their 50s and 60s. They want to make that their last job and get the old golden handshake. Maybe that's where this presenter's motives are now lying. That maybe someone from the BBC, a top exec, can say, look, you can't come back. Under no circumstances can your face be shown again on BBC property. But there you go. That's for the last 20 years. Go into retirement, move away from where you are, find a nice quiet place in England or Wales and enjoy yourself. But you are not coming back. And you're not going to be going to our rivals either, because we've actually met with them and they've said they're not going to have you either. So I'm afraid you're going to become another Michael Barrymore. Wow. The BBC. The British Bullshitting Corporation. Yes. Defund them. But tell me how to do it without me being hounded by them and threatened. Don't really want to be threatened, and I don't want people to come to the house, like bailiffs and things like that. I guess I'm a bit of a softie, but I'd find that really quite an invasion of my privacy if they turned up with a court order and took away things, camera gear and stuff like that. That would really hurt me. I guess that's why I'm still paying it, because the fear of the threats that they could carry out to you, that kind of makes me quake a bit. I don't really want to have to be taken to court over it. A lot of people say, that won't happen. There's too many millions now that are not paying it. They can't go after everyone. But they do go after some. I'm sure they do. Anyway, peeps, keep on watching your favourite YouTubers. Keep on watching Andrew Gold. Keep on watching Sean Atwood. In their own way, they're spearheading, aren't they? The truth-seeking directions at the moment. And if you can support them, then that's great. I do. I do support Andrew Gold. I do actually think he is a very good journalist, very polite. What I call the gentleman journalist of YouTube. There isn't really anybody like him. But you check him out, you'll like him when you see the cut of his jib. See y'all.